السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبعد. We will continue now inshallah in this, I think it's the fifth lecture, and we are going to also continue in our path through the definitions that we talked about, which were interpreted wrongly in the current tafsir. And these four definitions, or five actually definitions, are al-ilah, al-rabb, al-ilah, al-rabb, al-ibadah, al-deen, wa al-taghut. So they interpreted in almost all the contemporary tafsir, some intentionally, and some just because this is what was mentioned like vaguely in other in the old tafsir, like they talk about al-taghut, they mean shaitan or al-asnam, the devil, or the idols, or trees, or whatever people submit to or go to ask for things. They talk about ilah, it means the same thing as Rabb. Ilah is the one that that created them and gave them life and rizq. It's Ilah and Rabb are interchangeable in the tafsir, and they talk about it in that meaning. Al-ibadah, they talk about it in terms of the rituals. They make ibadah ritual. So it's praying, it's fasting, it's zakah. They talk about deen exactly like it's very close to ibadah. So ibadah and deen are the same. So if you have deen, you do ibadah. So you do rituals. So a deen is the collection of rituals you do. So the distorting of the actual meaning of these phrases is the most important thing that anybody should start actually with when they try to understand. Why it is? Because we don't speak the language. Arabs now don't speak the Arabic language. They don't know what the Arabic language is. The sense of the language is dead, long dead, let alone the non-Arabs. So because you don't, when an Arab, like we said before, when an Arab used to hear La ilaha illallah, the whole meaning of ilah jump into his head. He knows exactly what it is. When he say La ilaha illallah, he knows what it means. By all the meanings that is embedded from the language into the word. So when they hear Inna Deena Indallah Islam, in the ayah, they know what it means. And they distinguish between the word Inna Deena Indallah Islam, the deen here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Maliki Yawmiddin. There is a meaning here for deen, there is a meaning here for deen. So they distinguish between the different types. We're going to talk about the word. So that's what we mean by we have to have the right understanding of the of these definitions or phrases in as it is, and we take the path of looking at the Arabic tongue. What is the meaning of the word in the Arabic tongue? What did Arab mean? When they hear the word, what are the shadows? What are the meanings? What does it carry? And from that, because Quran أنزلناه بلسان عربي مبين. It's lisan Arabi, whether we like it or not. It's in the Arabic language. What can we do? You know? So you have to understand the Arabic language. And to understand the Arabic language, it is much furthermore than speaking the Arabic language. It's much more than that. It's much deep. Like any language, you have to have the sense, and you have to know not actually the language now. You have to understand the language of the Arab, like Shadbi said in Muwafaqat. 2 things you need to be a faqih. First, to understand the maqasid of Sharia, aims and goals of Sharia. Second, to know and perfect the Arabic language as was spoken at the time of Rasulullah, not now. This is very, 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 very hard, even for people who study. I think only few people reach that, and they teach us, like Al-Mawdudi, he teaches us, like Ahmad Shakir, like Mustafa Sadiq Al-Raf'i, like the big names of the like Samarra'i, like Al-Iraqi, like all these, like the big names in Arabic history, in our Arabic history, that they teach us the implication of the words and because they went back and lived in that century, and they dig into all this meaning, plus the skill that Allah gave them, so they were actually able to convey to us what it is. And that's what we are doing here. We are trying to get these only 5 definitions. Imagine if you want to go all the Arabic definition, like thousands of them, you will spend 5 lifetimes. But we are concerned here about these 5. So we talked about the ilah, and we said that the ilah can be the one who support. The ilah can come in man ilahu ghayrullah ya'tikum bih. So here ilah is the supporter, is the one who supports you. Right? And ilah also, the one, if he is the one who supports you, then he is the one that you have asked. يدعون من دون الله آلهة. So you don't call aliha except Allah. La ilaha illallah. You don't call anybody except Allah, because if you believe he is a supporter, he's the one that gives you support, then you ask him and you go toward him. And like we mentioned before, that the uluhiyyah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is an action up down, from us to Allah, to ask him. And we feel it tawakkul, we feel raja, we feel all these things. It gives the ilah his the included in the word of the ilah, like we said before. If we look at the word ar-Rabb, now we look at a word that contains like 2 ra and ba, Rabb, and there are some different meanings in the Arabic language, in the linguistic analysis of the word. First of them, the nourishing and upbringing and growth. It says like رب الولد, means nurtured. He nurtured the child. He upbring the child. you called al-rabib. Al-rabib is the one, like if you marry a woman and she has a son or a daughter from another previous husband, you are called rabib, that boy, because you are the one who is raising him. You're not his father, but you are his rabib. So, and you call the teacher al-murabbi. The teacher is al-murabbi. Why? Because because again, go back to the Western civilization and our civilization. The teacher is not the one who convey knowledge to the student. It's the one who upbring him, who nourish him, who give him his manners and everything. That's why al-mudarris is al-murabbi, you know. The second meaning is like gathering, assembling, preparation. They say فلان يرب الناس, means a person is gathering people for some reason, collecting people. So that's why they call the place where you gather al-marab. Al-marab, the place of the assembly place. The assembly place is al-marab in Arabic. A third meaning, care, maintenance, responsibility. This meaning يقال, it says رب الضيعة, رب البيت. يعني أنا رب البيت. رب البيت. I can't say رب without إضافة. It has to be مضاف إليه. رب البيت, رب الناقة, the owner of the camel. رب الدار, رب الضيعة, ربة البيت, the woman. So that's the care. That's why Allah. You understand that in the surah, in where we're going to say Sayyidina Yusuf. هو ربي أحسن إلي. In the الآية. So Rabb, because Rabbi, he is the one who raised me. Rabibi. So that meaning here. He's not Rabbi like he that created me. So also Rabb means the authority or the leadership, the sovereignty and the execution of commands. He's the one that Rabb فلان قومه means هو ربهم, means he put his authority upon them. He is the authority that they go back to. They listen to his commands. رب فلان قومه. Here when it comes like رب as a فعل, not اسم. رب فلان قومه. Right? You understand? رب فلان قومه. Like رب البيت, it's an اسم now. رب البيت, رب الضيعة, اسم now. But here رب فلان قومه, it's a فعل. رب الرجل قومه. So it means here also it means in the Arabic sense the ownership. It's the ownership of something. يقول أنت رب الضيعة أنت رب الإبل أم رب الغنم, means صاحب الغنم. Are you the owner of the غنم? It's different than when you say رب البيت, رب الضيعة, رب الناقة. رب الناقة means he owns it, but here is claiming the ownership. Are you claiming the ownership of this thing? That's why the comparison between Rabb and Abd, slave and Lord, and Rabb. Rabb, what is the not anonymous, the other one?
Antonym.
Antonym? Yeah, what the antonym is Abd. So that's why we are Abidillah, Abid al-Rabb, we are Abid to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's actually, this all what comes to an Arab person, an old Arab person, to his mind when it comes to understand like nourishing and caring. قال معاذ الله إنه ربي أحسن مثواي. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like the leadership and executive commanding and stuff. هو ربكم وإليه ترجعون. Here, هو ربكم is the one that you all come back to, and ثم إلى ربكم مرجعكم. So he's executive. He's the one that you will come back to. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. The marja, the ownership, إلى ربهم, the one who owns them. So also like the caretaker, they are enemies to me except the Lord of the worlds who created me, and he guides me in Surah Shura. إنهم عدو لي إلا رب العالمين. So all these, master and authority, this we have the like السيد المطاع. ولا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا من دون الله. أربابا لا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا. We don't take each other أرباب from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here, ولا يتخذ بعضنا بعضا أربابا من دون الله means we don't, or اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله. The آية اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله in Surah At-Tawbah. They take their rabbis and monks as lords beside Allah. So this is the master, the one of sovereignty and authority. فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم. This is a master. He is the king. He is the master. He is a sovereign. You know. فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. So whatever you see in the Arabic sense, in the Arabic linguistic sense, you find in the ayahs, reflected in the ayahs. And this is how you read these different ayahs and reflect on them. You can't have Rabb as the creator and read it as a creator in all these ayahs. You won't understand what's going on. What are they talking about? Therefore, anyone who believes that any part of the rububiyyatullah is attributed to someone other than Allah, or attributed to anyone in any way while living with this system, is fighting against the truth, the system of Islam, turning away from the proper path and acting in opposition to the truth. Such a person is heading toward destruction and loss, exhausting themselves in resisting the undeniable truth. So this is the word Rabb in the meaning, in the linguistic meaning, and in Quranic meaning. When we turn to the word ibadah, we start with the linguistic analysis of the word, and there are different shades to ibadah. Ibadah, they call worship in English, which is not represented in the Arabic actually sense of the word at all. It talks about kind of part of what it is, but it doesn't simulate the meaning, the real meaning of ibadah. Ibadah from ubudiyah, and it comes from there are many senses of ibadah in the Arabic language, like we say al-abd. Al-abd, or the slave, is the one who is owned by another one, and being owned by another one, it means that he is going to submit to him, and he is going to do his commands. Go do this, go do that. Al-abd, the slave, which includes obedience and submission. That's why they say وعبد الطاغوت in ayah. عبد الطاغوت. عبد الطاغوت, those who make ibadah to طاغوت, which you're going to understand. In the word إياك نعبد means إياك نطيع. So عبد means to obey, to come under the submission completely. Like they say, طريق معبد. It's a way. When you go and pave the road, طريق معبد means it is ready. It is under your command. Because you don't want the road to have the obstacles and stuff. No, there is no obstacle. It's very free. It's خلاص. So طريق معبد. So عبد means to خضع وذلل. خضع وذلل. خضع means to enforce upon. ذلل means to make him, to humiliate under your authority. خضع وذلل. So that's what عبد means. So in order to do ibadah, there are things that comes out of ibadah, and there are consequence. There are consequence to ibadah, and there are like self products that comes from out of ibadah. Like if you are making ibadah to something, of course you will you will love it. You will submitting to it completely. Of course, ibadah to Allah is different. This is the difference here between ibadah other than Allah and ibadah. Ibadah includes love, because ibadat غير الله subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the difference between the two guys. Ibadat this submission with love. Because why? That's why. Because why ibadah? Why we make ibadah? Because Allah, al-ilah, like we said in ilah, He gave us all these things. He took care. And the Rabb, He took care of us. He gave us. He created us. He make us breathe. He gave us the system in our body. He gave us our kids. If we do good and listen to Him and make good ibadah, He will give us Jannah. All these things is a cause for love. But in the same time, if we don't do that and we deny all the blessings that He gave us, we are going to be punished badly. That's the reason for fear. So here is fear and love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With humans, if you make ibadah to human, if you go to your manager, you smile in his face and you go and damn him outside of the door, his door, right away, right? We all know that, you know. This kind of ibadah of anybody, you know, this like they used to make this asnam out of date, and then they worship it and love it and ask it and everything, but when they need, they eat it. So there is no respect, there is nothing to this. When you eat something, how do you respect it? It goes in your system and it goes out actually as a outside of you, in your bowl and buraz. It's just waste in your waste, body waste. So the worship of Allah means it has its what results from worship. Because worship is submission, humiliation, completely under the authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, completely the devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a result from that, there are all these feelings inside: tawakkul, mahabba, raja, hopefulness, الخوف, fearness, الطلب, asking, all these inner feelings will result in this, which is called أعمال القلوب, the acts of the heart. And this is a result of the ibadah. Also, the other part of ibadah is أعمال الجوارح. Because you can't say, oh, I have my heart is completely, and then your jawarih is completely doing the opposite of Allah told you. Then you are a liar. And we tell you in your face, you are a liar. It can't be, you know. That's why when we going to study Iman, we are going to study the subject of jins al-amal, suqud jins al-amal. Because if you skip on some of the actions, yes, you can still have Iman. But if you skip in every single act, that's a different subject. اللي هو سقوط جنس العمل بالكامل. There is none. That's what Ibn Taymiyyah actually was great and talked about. We're going to discuss it later, but I discussed it in my book in detail, in Imam book, and distinguish between this and the other kind of masiyah. So the let's look at some of the. Did you stop it?
Go ahead.
Did you stop it before?
Yes.
Oh, because the guy is going to have a hard time putting together.
No, it's together.
Okay.
It's one.
So,
resumed.
okay.
Pause.
So, let's look at the ayahs. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قل ثم أرسلنا موسى وأخاه هارون بآياتنا من سورة المؤمنون وسلطان مبين إلى فرعون وملئه فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما عالين فقالوا أنؤمن لبشرين مثلنا وقومهما لنا عابدون. What does it mean عابدون here? He's عابدون means submission. They submit to us. عبد. They are slaves. They're our slaves. They follow us, right? سيدنا موسى فرعون said وتلك نعمة تمنها علي سيدنا موسى أن عبدت بني إسرائيل. What does it mean? In Surah الشعراء عبدت بني إسرائيل means, he said, is this a good thing you're telling me that you made Bani Israel عبيد لك عبدتهم, like the paved them, like الطريق المعبد, made them obey you in whatever you say. So in these ayahs, عبودية means طاعة. Also قل هل أنبئكم بشر من ذلك في سورة المائدة مثوبة عند الله من لعنه الله وغضب عليه وجعل منهم القردة والخنازير وعبد الطاغوت. Those who obey الطاغوت, which we're going to talk about. ولقد بعثنا في كل أمة رسولا في سورة النحل 36 ولقد بعثنا في كل أمة رسولا أن اعبدوا الله واجتنبوا الطاغوت. أن اعبدوا الله واجتنبوا الطاغوت. So here is Allah and Taghut. We're going to talk about that later. And أن اعبدوا الله means أطيعوا الله. طاعة. In ayah like ألم أعهد إليكم in ياسين ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. Here العبادة in تفسير, and those who want to play around with the meaning, so they please rulers and stuff, اعبدوا الله هنا say means like ask, for help and support. We say no. Here ibadah means ta'a, and abdullah means ati'u Allah. Because who in the world that actually make ibadah to أن اعبدوا ألا تعبدوا الشيطان, who pray to shaitan? Nobody pray to shaitan. Nobody makes any kind of ritual to shaitan. So ibadah here is not rituals. Like we said, they use ibadah as ritual. So ألا تعبدوا الشيطان here, it doesn't mean don't make your ritual to shaitan, make it to Allah. It doesn't make sense to understand it this way. ألا تعبدوا الشيطان means ألا تطيعوا الشيطان. Don't obey the shaitan. Don't make ibadah to shaitan. Don't obey him. Don't follow him. إنه لكم عدو مبين وأنا اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. And worship me, not worship, and make ibadah to me, because ibadah is not worship. Worship is ritual. So that's how also all the non-Arabs speak in the disconnection here, because they understand worship of going to the church and make the pray. This is worship. In Islam and the Arabic sense, as we can see, it has nothing to do with this. Maybe it's a part of it, but it's much more wider than that. Like اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا إلها واحدا. شوف إلا ليعبدوا إلها, هنا العبادة الإله, ليعبدوا إلها واحدا. So they took their monks and their rabbis and stuff, آلهة other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they took al-Masih, and they were ordered not to follow them, not to make ta'ah to these people. And we all know hadith حاتم حديث علي بن حاتم الطائي الذي رواه الترمذي الحديث الصحيح, which is very important here. دخل حاتم على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وفي عنقه, أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث, في عنقه قلادة فيها أثر من آثار الجاهلية. That the rabbis and the priests used to hang around. So Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم said, يا عدي ألق عنك هذا الوثن. Take out this wathan, which is idol or something. ثم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله. So Adi said, يا رسول الله ما كنا نعبدهم. We didn't worship, we didn't think that they are the creators or the this or this. So Ali understood one aspect of أربابا من دون الله. So Rasulullah said, ألم يكونوا يحلون لكم الحرام فتحلونه ويحرمون عليكم الحلال فتحرمونه. قال بلى. He said yes. Rasulullah said, didn't they used to tell you about haram, that it is halal, so you make it halal, and about halal, that it is haram, so you make it haram? And they say, yes, we used to do that. So Rasulullah said, فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَتُكُمْ إِيَّهُ. This is the worship. This is the meaning of worship. To make the halal haram and the haram halal is the worship. So when you go now to Allah, right? And they say you can do this, you can drink if you are over 18. What in God's name does this mean? فَتِلْكَ عِبَادَتُكُمْ إِيَّاهُمْ. This is the exact meaning of ibadah. There is no other meaning in the Arabic sense, right? So this is the ibadah. Of course, they took some of the kuffar took angels. وجعلوا الملائكة الذين هم عباد الرحمن, ملائكة أو عباد الرحمن, وقالوا اتخذ الرحمن ولدا سبحانه بل عباد مكرمون. الله سبحانه وتعالى إن الذين تدعون من دون الله عباد أمثالكم فادعوهم فليستجيبوا لكم إن كنتم صادقين. Those who you ask other than Allah, they are ibad, they are doing عبادة to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like you. والذين تدعون من دونه لا يستطيعون نصركم ولا أنفسهم ينصرون. لن يستنكف المسيح أن يكون عبدا لله ولا الملائكة المقربون ومن يستنكف عن عبادته ويستكبر فسيحشرهم إليه جميعا. سورة النساء. So these are the meanings, different meaning of العبادة. So الواجب هو أن تتوجه العبادة إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى, which means the الطاعة and الطاعة and التأله, أن تجعل الله هو الإله. You have to obey him in everything. Doing the rituals is part of ta'ah, but ta'ah is to submit and to do everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in every aspect of your life, and not only that, don't give any part of it to anyone. وَاجْتَنِبُ أَنْ أَعْبُدُ اللَّهِ وَاجْتَنِبُ الطَّاغُوتِ. Don't give any part to Tawheed. Don't give any part to any other entity other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what this entity is. It can be a wife. Somebody can love his wife to the point where you hear in some of Arabic movies and stuff, they used to say the guy who love a girl and he meet her say, I love you, I worship you. أعبدك أنا أحبك أنا أعبدك. He say the word أعبدك in ibadah. This is pure kufr. You can't say that to anybody. You can't make worship to anything. You can't obey somebody to the point where you disobey Allah for them. Then you are given part of al-ibadah, you are given part of uluhiyah. Because we have to understand that when we discuss the meaning of deen, and next time inshallah, you will understand that all these goes back to one thing, which is Islam. Al-ilah, al-rabb, al-deen, al-ibadah, they all go back to one meaning, which is Islam altogether. They all connect. We just have to understand the different components and the words that are spread in Quran and how they are used and how they are situated in the different ayahs to establish a full understanding of deen, which is Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi